I've been telling everyone at work I'm a Leo. I'm not, as part of a prank to prove astrology is utter bull crap, but my boss thinks my Leo energy is why I'm crushing it, and now I don't think I can follow through on my big reveal. I think astrology is one of the dumbest, most unscientific things you could possibly believe in. Honestly, I would judge someone less for believing that the earth is flat or being a Scientologist. At least Scientology has an established lore of writing created by a limited number of people, whereas apparently anyone can write horoscopes for any small-town newspaper and people will still follow their local little blurb's advice. Anyway, there's a group of coworkers at my job who are way into astrology. They're always talking about signs and compatibility. It didn't work out because he's a Gemini, etc. Sometimes they talk about people at work and their personality traits based on their signs. When they asked me, I told them a fake birthday without even knowing the sign associated with it. It turns out that, based on this information, I'm a Leo. They practically fell all over themselves telling me how much sense that made. You have such a creative spirit. Or you're so generous. Or, my favorite, you're so vital. What the heck? We're all pretty friendly with each other, so I thought it would be kind of funny to do this and then reveal to them later that I'm not a Leo at all, to see how they reacted and covered for themselves to justify their ongoing belief in magic star influences. Well, unfortunately, one of my bosses seems to believe that me being a Leo makes me uniquely suited to work on various projects, and I've actually landed on some good opportunities because of it. After a presentation to clients, I was recently told that my Leo spirit was really carrying the team through such a difficult deadline. Now I'm genuinely worried that someone is going to figure out my real birthday. I work for a big company that has my real birthday in the system, and there's a chance that some weird auto-generated public email or post somewhere will congratulate the October birthdays or something. I am basically caught up in a lie that's based on nonsense to begin with, and I'm really confused about what to do. I will probably never tell anyone at work this information, so I figured I'd tell a bunch of strangers on the internet in the hopes that I don't get found out and have some kind of weird disciplinary action taken. Imagine my boss firing me for pretending to be a Leo? That's such a Pisces thing to do. Kidding. Help. Edit. I am absolutely loving people saying that's such a Libra thing to do, or it's just like a Libra to get into situations like this. I said I was born in October but didn't specify the date. I'm not a Libra either. Edit number 2. People who are defending astrology by telling me that it's much more complicated than just your birth date, and then proceeding to explain detailed nonsense about the movement of the celestial bodies. That is not the convincing argument you think it is. Edit number 3. Kidding. I'm a Libra. So all those people saying that's so Scorpio, you're the ones who are wrong. Or is that what a Scorpio would say to throw you off the trail? Who knows? According to Google, Libras gravitate towards intellectualism, so maybe this is all an elaborate thought experiment. That's so Libra of me. Or is pretending I'm a Libra the Scorpio move? Update, 1 month later. Well, thanks to everyone for offering so much sound advice and all the sympathy in the comments. There were a lot of people adamantly defending astrology too, but thankfully the sensible, reasonable people were active enough to provide me with some pretty good ideas for how to handle this. Sorry, long post incoming, but a lot has happened. It's been about a month and things are just getting weirder unfortunately, but I tried to do the right thing. A couple weeks ago, after I worked up the courage, I sat down with the original coworkers that I gave the wrong birthday to. Without my boss, who is the real issue right now. I basically told them, hey, something really awkward is going on with our boss, and it kind of started because of a lie I told you guys a couple months ago. Of course, when you admit openly to lying, people get interested, and the people at my job are really drama hungry, so of course they immediately needed to know everything. Paraphrasing here, but I told them, so remember when we were all talking about birthdays and signs? I kind of told you guys the wrong birthday because I'm really uncomfortable with my sign. I don't think it fits me at all. This was a good thing to say, apparently, because they immediately laughed so much, and when I told them my actual sign they said, that's such a, your actual sign, thing to do. Thanks to some helpful Redditors who pointed out that the astrology-minded can do mental gymnastics to make anything work. I told them that I always felt like a Leo and I really liked a lot of the qualities that I had read about them, so I gave a fake birthday so people would like me more, which they seemed to really understand. They were really nice about it and I felt really guilty that I was basically lying to cover the lie. But I'm already in too deep. So I told them, hey, this is really awkward for me because our boss is giving me more opportunities because I'm a Leo. At this point, one of them says basically, hey, you know what, maybe Leo is your rising sign. Again, exactly what some people in the comments predicted, and offered to do my chart for me. Feeling super guilty about lying to these nice people and, I guess, trying to connect with them rather than mock them, I said, okay sure. We work remote a lot of days, but we actually made plans to meet back up at the office and then stay after we finished work so they could do the reading. Is it a reading? I literally don't know. It was super dumb, but I enjoyed it. We went into a conference room and we mapped out the whole chart. I had no freaking idea what was going on, but I appreciated the attention. Towards the end of the session, or whatever you call it, and mind you, this is like 8 p.m. by now, and at my job that means freaking no one is in the building, especially with a lot of people still working remote, who walks past the conference room but my freaking boss. The one who has been fawning over my performance since thinking I was a Leo. I guess she had come in to pick up some stuff or had stayed late herself. Who knows? She comes in and sees the charts and my notes I had taken about my birth time and crap, and, since she's really into astrology, gets all excited and goes, oh, what's going on in here? And my coworker was a freaking G, just saving my ass, explaining that I had lied about my birthday, that I wasn't a Leo, but that I always felt like one, but doing it way better than I ever could, essentially gaining so much sympathy for me and making me seem like this tortured, misunderstood person who felt like I was trapped in the wrong star sign. It was awesome and the vibes were good. So my boss and my coworker are going over my chart and it turns out that I'm not a Leo rising, but I am a Gemini rising, and that got them talking about how that was so me because I'm really social at work and I'm a multitasker and talkative. And they basically forgot that a couple months ago I was so a Leo. When I could sense the vibe was good, I even made a joke like, "Hey, I know that you needed a Leo helping out on those projects, but I hope there's room for a Gemini, haha." She ate it up and was like, "Hey, I think a Gemini is compatible with the team we have now. You obviously have already fit right in, blah blah blah. So the work thing is no longer a concern, but here's where it gets kind of bad again. My boss asks to take the chart home, which I didn't really think anything of, I guess, because I certainly don't care about it or want it. And then a few days go by and then it's the weekend. And then I log on to a Zoom meeting on Monday and she asks me to stay on after everyone has hung up. She goes, "OP, I'm sorry if this is overstepping, but I know you're recently single. My daughter is close to your age, she's just finished college, and according to your charts, you would be so compatible. So I would love it if you would ask her out sometime." She kept saying no pressure. But if you know this woman, she obviously was pressuring me and she's clearly too invested in her employees' personal lives. Honestly, I was so dumbfounded when she brought it up that I was basically speechless. So that was about a week ago, and since then, she's had her daughter follow and DM me on Instagram and email me and start basically flirting with me. It's all pretty casual conversation, but she's clearly prepped her with things like, "You would be perfect for him." I've kind of stalled getting back to her because I honestly think this is really inappropriate, and the last thing I want is to become more involved in my boss's life, and certainly not with someone she's related to. This all feels pretty inappropriate, but I also feel worried about hurting feelings. So yeah, this is awkward, and I would argue it's perhaps worse than when we started.